Welcome back to Hoochos. Today on Hoochos, we're going to build this. This is a cheap and easy trash can or dustbin hydroponic system. Let's get to building it. So things you'll need today are a dustbin and a colander which fits into the top of your dustbin. We'll need some clear vinyl tubing. Now this is 6mm tubing because it fits into the top of my pump. Now this pump is the AP210, which is the Aquapro pump, which is available at Bunnings. And we'll also need some vermiculite and some perlite, which we're going to mix up in about a 50-50 ratio and put into our colander. You'll also need some kind of electrical timer that can do small increments so that you can time your pump in bursts. All right, let's set up the system and we'll plant the seeds. So first I'm just gonna connect up my pump to my 6mm tubing, cut the tubing to size so that it sticks out the top of the dustbin. Then if your colander's got this hole, we'll just thread our tubing up through that hole, and that's pretty much the system. So I'm going to add in half vermiculite, half perlite. Now if you find that the medium's too wet, just increase the amount of perlite, which will increase the drainage, or if it's too dry, increase the amount of vermiculite, which will increase the water holding and nutrient holding capacity. So now I'm going to add in my nutrients. So just take the top off, pour in my nutrients, put the top back on. Now you could actually have this as a crack key system if you wanted. Just have the nutrients touching the bottom of the colander and it will just wick up. And as the plants use the nutrients, the reservoir will be depleted in a crack key style. So this is a 10-litre bucket. So I'll grab another 5 litres of nutrient. Now because I'm growing leafy greens in this, I'm aiming for an EC of about 1.5. So that's 1.3, which I'll probably stick with. And the pH should be about 6 to 6.5. So I'm just going to put in a little bit more nutrient because my nutrients lower the pH and my pH is slightly high and my nutrients are slightly low. So this should make it perfect. So it's 1.5. All right, so it's still too high, so I'm just going to add in a couple of drops of pH down. Boom. All right, let's turn on the pump and see how it works. So I'll plug in the pump. And there it is. So I might wet down the whole bed. Now we can plant in our plants. So I've got some lettuce that I've thinned out from one of my other hydroponic systems. So I'll pop that in. And some more. And a little basil plant for the middle. All right, now it's set up. I'm going to put it under the lights and start the time lapse. have a look at that result. That's not bad. Now you would have actually noticed that I changed the light halfway through the experiment. And I did this because those cos lettuce that were in originally were just getting so laggy. And that's because the light that I had above it was the Bunnings grow light, the more expensive one. And it just wasn't providing enough light. So I switched it out for this. This is the Spider Farmer SF300. I did a review on its bigger brother, the SF600, which is just a bit longer of a light. And I've been extremely impressed with these lights for their purpose. Now, their purpose being seedlings, clones, and leafy greens. So I'm happy to recommend this light. This was actually purchased by myself, so I have no qualms in going, I bought this for the purpose of growing seedlings and leafy greens. It's not over the top like a lot of LEDs that are trying to achieve something that I know a lot of my viewers aren't trying to achieve. I know a lot of you are just trying to achieve some nice leafy greens for yourself that you can go indoors, out of season, or just growing seedlings for your outdoor hydroponic systems, and banger of a light. This system is also a banger. For the cost, I think I paid like $3 for the trash can or the dustbin and $1 for the colander. I can't even remember how much I paid for the pump. I think it may have been the most expensive part at either 15 or 20 bucks. This is all Australian, mind you. So for under 30 bucks, you've got a hydroponic system. And if you can get your nutrient cheap, you could just have this outside growing your leafy greens. Hydroponics does not need to be expensive, and it doesn't need to be fancy, it just needs to work. Hope this has inspired you to rummage around in your local thrift store or something. Think a little bit outside the box and maybe rummage around in your trash can or with your trash can. Make sure you give this video a like if you like the content. Subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know in the comments if you have any ideas for crackpot hydroponic systems. I'd love to hear them. So, happy hydroponicking, and I'll see you next time on Hoochos.